The Agriculture Department told One News that marine and fishery products are expected to increase by as much as 10%. This as half of fish production cost is spent on fuel. The DA is now in talks with the Energy Department to grant them fuel discounts.
So again, we're proposing that it will cover at least 30 municipal fisher folk and about more than 100 commercial fishing vessels, particularly operating within the West Philippine Sea.
The DA's goal is for fuel price for fisher folk to be reduced to the level prior to the recent streak of hikes 2 months ago. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
How does government plan to offset the 9th round of oil price hikes? To answer that, we have with us Energy Assistant Secretary Gerardo Erguiza Jr. Good evening, ASEC Erguiza.
Good evening, Robbie. Good evening, Gretchen. And to our viewers.
ASEC, last week we were talking about in seeking authority to suspend excise taxes. No? But pending that or in the absence of that, what options do we have right now?
Well, in the case of Department of Energy, we have started the process of talking to the various oil companies, and some have responded already to grant additional discounts to the public transport sector. And just recently, the other day, we included in the conversation truck deliveries, delivering food. And a company already has responded. And right now, with respect to, in the fisheries sector, we've discussed in the office earlier this afternoon that we will find ways to include this sector so that they will be also given discounts.
Okay. In the meantime, last week then, you also mentioned negotiating with transport groups on the possibility of leveraging higher capacity for their passengers to hopefully offset the pressure for higher transport fees. Ano pong update ton?
That was started by the DOTR in cooperation with the LFTRB. And they have to come out with the framework and be submitted for conformity by the IATF. But I understand lately when the Department of Finance announced the 1 billion peso subsidy, I think our people from the public transport sector are happy about it. So nonetheless, that full capacity of jeepneys is being worked out right now. Maybe we can get some updates from the DOTR later, Rob.
Okay. ASEC Erguiza, maraming salamat po. That was Energy Assistant Secretary Gerardo Erguiza Jr. An increase in passenger capacity, as we said, for public transport is being considered to offset the huge upticks in fuel prices. The Transportation Department, in fact, wants capacity back to 100%. The DOTR has already submitted their formal position paper to the IATF. They claim to base their position on a research which shows that among 10 countries, including the Philippines, transport capacity has no significant correlation supposedly with the number of COVID-19 cases. They are also arguing that health protocols are enough to prevent high-risk COVID-19 infections.
These are the other big stories tonight. After more than 100,000 flocked to the Dolomite Beach on Sunday, the Environment Department has barred minors aged 11 years old and younger from entering the man-made beach. Fearing that it might be abused, lawmakers from both houses of Congress now want to amend the substitution rule for those seeking to run in the elections. They want withdrawal to be scrapped as grounds for substitution. And feeling the nippy weather as of late? Wonder no more. It's official. Amihan season is here. A good excuse to take that sweater out of the closet. These big stories after the break.
Good evening. You're still watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. In order to prevent thousands from flocking the Dolomite Beach just last weekend, the Environment Department has now banned children from entering.
They're also introducing new guidelines from closing on Fridays to limiting foot traffic. Shaila Francisco with the details.
Excitement turned into disappointment as the 11-year-old son of Diane was barred by guards from entering the Manila Bay Dolomite Beach on Tuesday. The Environment Department has just banned minors 11 years and younger from entering the man-made beach. Her family had to make do with what they can see from the gate.
Na-disappoint lang po kasi kahapon pwede pa yung mga bata, tapos ngayon hindi na pwede.
The IATF and the Office of the President called out the DNR. Based on IATF guidelines, minors may only go out for work, essential services, and outdoor exercises. But that was not the case at a Dolomite Beach over the weekend, where some visitors were not even asked to present IDs. Visitors count reached 122,000 on Sunday alone.
Actually, that's a challenge to all of us, no? Kung paano ma-determine. Madali rin naman yan kasi hindi naman namin sila check. Kung makita mo yung mga bata, at least we will be at least somehow give the benefit of the doubt sa mga parents. Kasi ang responsibility naman yan, kaya natin pinagbawal yan for the safety din.
The DNR noted a 40% dip in visitors on Tuesday. They hope the new rule will help manage food traffic.
Ang kapansin-pansin dito, isa o dalawang bata ang kasamang mga guardians, about 5 to 8 persons, no, na nag-aalaga sa kanila. So, expected mo ngayon na kapag pinagbawal mo yung bata rito, even the guardians themselves, hindi na pupunta muna yan.
Other new guidelines will be implemented here at the Dolomite Beach. It will be closed Fridays for maintenance, and visitors will be capped at 5,000 at a time, with stay only allowed for 15 minutes on weekdays and 2 hours on weekends. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno said they were not informed by the DNR regarding its opening. He says he will let the IATF file cases against the DNR officials. The DNR, for its part, is mulling closing the beach to continue its rehabilitation, pending the approval of the Manila Bay Interagency Task Force.
So we will still sit down and assess the situation. Titingnan namin kung ano yung pwede naming magawa. While pending that period, that time to discuss these things of closure, siguro i-address muna namin yung crowd volume of people going to the Dolomite.
As it is, the beach will be closed for the holidays from October 29 to November 3. Shaila Francisco, WR1 News.
Here's one valid excuse for minors to go out. The Education Department has identified 90 schools that will join the pilot run of limited face-to-face classes. DepEd Secretary Leonor Briones says there were initially more than 600 schools chosen, but only about 300 passed the Health Department's granular risk assessment. From 300, eligible schools were cut to 90 after some local government units backed out due to the unstable situation on COVID. To date, Luzon has 28 participants, with Ilocos and Central Luzon having 10 schools each. Calabarzon has 5, Bicol has 3. The Visayas region has 21 schools, while Mindanao has the most number of participants, 41.
But minors, together with seniors, are still not allowed to enter some cemeteries. This as many rush to visit their dearly departed ahead of the closure of cemeteries on Friday. JC Cosico has the story.
It has been 2 years since 81-year-old Elsa Munoz visited her departed husband at the Manila North Cemetery. She might have to wait another year as she was denied entry on Tuesday.
Hindi namin po alam na bawalan senior na 81 eh. Talaga pong ganyan. Mamaya na lang, magpipirit ako sa bahay.
Cemetery management bars entry of senior citizens 65 years old and above.
Yung 65 years old, hindi na po kaya pong maglakad para po puntahan po sa laki po ng loob ng sementeryo.
Minors are also not allowed inside the facility, but we still saw several children inside, some even maskless. But these kids, management says, belong to the 150 informal settler families inside the cemetery.
Siguro nag-aantay na lang po kami na matapos at maitayo po yung mga pabahay. And then siguro mawawala rin po yung mga nakatira po sa loob ng Manila North Cemetery.
Police are projecting more than 20,000 visitors on October 28, a day before the closure. At least 80 policemen are also deployed to ensure security and health protocol compliance. This may be augmented if needed.
Mayroon tayong mga police assistance desk in every corner, yung mga itong North Cemetery na to. At the same time, may mga roving tayo. May mga nagpapatrolya tayo.
With foot traffic still way lower than pre-pandemic levels, sales of flowers outside the Manila North have also slumped. Add to that the increase in prices.
Dati pa po sir, po kami ng utang po kami ng puhunan. Pero po ngayon, hindi na po kami ng utang kasi wala po talaga kami ibabayad.
The cemetery is only open until 5 p.m. Cremations and burials will still be allowed, even when the cemetery closes temporarily. For News 5, JC Cosico, We Are One News.
Put your jackets on. It is officially the Amihan season. Pag-asa says strong to gale northeasterly winds have prevailed over northeast Luzon, which may be attributed to the high-pressure system over Siberia. Gradual cooling of the air temperature has also been observed by the Weather Bureau. Pag-asa is also warning of floods and rain-induced landslides due to monsoon rainfalls enhanced by the ongoing La Nina. Over in Davao City, heavy downpour caused massive floods. Families were evacuated from areas like Barangays Matina and Buhangin.
For the big story in sports, the Beach Volleyball Republic wrapped up its bubble tournament in Santa Ana, Cagayan, with Team Creamline topping the men's and women's competition. Let's take a look at the exciting return of beach volleyball in my report. In its first tournament since the start of the pandemic, it wasn't COVID-19 that threatened the Beach Volleyball Republic on tour. Rather, it was the big waves that came along the shores of Santa Ana, Cagayan. Despite the challenging weather, the beach volleyball community showed once again its tried and tested resilience.
Lahat vets nagtulungan. Lahat talaga. The volunteers, the media people, the production team, lahat nagbuhat ng ad board, lahat nagbuhat ng tents. We had marshals from the regional mobile group na nagbubuhat ng tent. As in, everybody moved.
In the women's division, Creamline's Cici Rondina and Bernadette Pons capped off their dominant campaign with the championship. The pair claimed the title after defeating Good Health CDO's Baby Love Barbon and Jen Eslapor.
Sobrang saya ate kasi binigyan ulit kami ng pagkakataon na makalaro and sobrang hirap din na napagdaanan namin kasi nakulong din kami ilang months sa Manila and walang court.
Dati ilan lang yung naglalaro ng beach volleyball tapos parang hindi siya talaga pinapansin ng tao. Ngayon, napapansin na ng tao which is yun naman talaga yung gusto namin.
In the men's, it was Creamline's Jude Garcia and Krung Arbasto who took home the gold. The duo defeated PLDT's Rancel Varga and Efraim de Maculangan in 3 close sets.
Mixed emotions na kasi ayun, first local partnership namin ni Jude tapos unang championship title din ni Jude.
Sana magtuloy-tuloy ulit yung program ng beach volley, sana hindi maputol para mas magumanda yung napapakita namin sa performance namin.
But there won't be much rest for both teams as the second leg starts on October 28. This will be their preparation for the upcoming Asian Seniors Beach Volleyball Championship this November 23 to 27 in Phuket, Thailand.
Iba talaga kapag game situation. You get to train the timing of your body, the recovery of your body sa games, yung mental preparedness mo, yung mental toughness mo, yung emotions mo, you get to control also inside the court. And I guess this really would help them prepare for more tournaments in the future.
The second leg of BVR on Tour will be streamed live via Puso Pilipinas Facebook page and Beach Volleyball Republic's TikTok page. Gretchen Ho, We Are One News. Time for another quick break. When we return, lawmakers want to scrap withdrawal as grounds for substitution for those seeking elective posts. And just how much is waiting for Gymnast Kaloy Yulo after his impressive stint at the World Championships? Find out after the break.
Good evening. You're still watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. Candidates for the 2022 election still have the option to make substitutions until November 15.
Some senators now want to make changes to the rule to prevent it from being abused. Marian Enriquez with the details.
The filing of certificates of candidacy may have ended October 8, but the Commission on Elections has to wait until November 15 to come up with the final list of candidates in next year's polls. This is the deadline set by the poll body for substitution among aspirants. Under Section 77 of the Omnibus Election Code, substitution is allowed in cases of death, disqualification, or withdrawal. This was the case back in 2015 when then Davao Mayor Rodrigo Duterte replaced Martin Dino to be PDP Laban's standard bearer. This year, rumor mill is abuzz that a substitution may once again take place with hopes that Mayor Sara Duterte will run for one of the top 2 posts in the country.
Nagagamit to as a political strategy. Naglalagay muna ng mga wala namang intensyong kumandidato. Naglalagay muna ng mga taong yung tinatawag natin placeholders.
Lawmakers now want to put an end to the practice. Senator Wing Gatchalian, along with 4 other senators, filed a bill seeking to ban withdrawal as grounds for substitution.
Ang gusto natin na mga kandidato, yung mga may seryosong plano para sa ating bansa, isa lang dapat ang deadline natin. No? Kung November 15 yan, November 15 yan.
The Comelec, meanwhile, is on the fence about this.
We see substitution as a necessary remedy under the law. What would perhaps be a better idea is if Congress were to introduce some controls, some sort of regulation.
House Deputy Speaker Rufus Rodriguez, who earlier filed a same bill, maintained that no substitution due to withdrawal should be allowed.
There's no regulation. It's either we have that or we don't have that. And I believe that we should not have that.
Rodriguez is also seeking to revisit the entire Omnibus Election Code. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Here are the other election stories we're watching. Presidential candidate and Senator Manny Pacquiao visits Benguet to meet with Governor Melchor Diclas and other local officials. The senator also joined the traditional Igorot dance. However, Governor Diclas did not confirm if he is supporting Pacquiao's presidential campaign, saying that all candidates gunning for the presidency are welcome in the province. Presidential aspirant Caliodi de Guzman vows to seek solutions to labor issues if he wins the country's top post. Among these are contractualization and ensuring livelihood for the marginalized sector. De Guzman is also planning to abolish the rice tariffication law, which he claims has brought problems to farmers. He is also open to unity talks with other opposition candidates following Bongbong Marcos and Sara Duterte's meeting in Cebu. And Vice President Leni Robredo reminds her followers that pink is not only a color, but a state of being. In a video released via her Facebook page, the Vice President encouraged her supporters to continue with charity works. Robredo also thanks her supporters after the successful Caravan of Hope last weekend.
In world news, Myanmar was criticized by ASEAN leaders after being a no-show at the ASEAN summit. Myanmar did not send a representative as the association rejected their junta chief Min Aung Hlaing, who led the coup in the country back in February. ASEAN disapproved of him on humanitarian grounds. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden is expected to attend virtually, the first time in 4 years that a U.S. president will attend after the former President Donald Trump snubbed the meetings.
Another big story in sports, TNT forward Troy Rosario might sit out the rest of the PBA Philippine Cup Finals after suffering from spinal shock due to a nasty fall in Game 3. Rosario fell on his back following a flagrant foul from Jackson Corpus during a drive attempt in the third quarter of Game 3. TNT team manager Gabby Cui said Rosario is doubtful to return as he may need surgery on his finger. And Filipino world champion gymnast Kaloy Yulo is set to receive 750,000 pesos worth of incentives from the Philippine Sports Commission following his recent World Championship run in Japan. Yulo's World Championship gold in the men's vault earned him 500,000 pesos, while the silver in the men's parallel bars got him 250,000 pesos. According to PSC Chairman Butch Ramirez, the provisions and technical conditions of the National Athletes and Coaches Benefits and Incentives Act does not cover the annually held World Tilt-Off Gymnastics. But despite this, the PSC said it recognized the significance of judo's victory and approved the incentives.
NAS Academy has patched things up with Apo Wangod and the Butbut tribe of Kalinga. The platform came under fire last August for launching an ancient tattooing masterclass without the Mamba Badok's consent. Many deemed the course a scam and a form of exploitation. The National Commission for Indigenous Peoples, which called the contract grossly onerous, brokered the reconciliation process between NAS Academy representatives and the tribe on October 22. While NAS was absent, an associate spoke with Wangod via video call.
Thank you for accepting us today, for being with you, and for taking part in this reconciliation.
In a statement, the NCIP says it has decided to finally put this issue to rest. The Butbut tribe acknowledges NAS Academy's sincere apology over the misunderstanding. The NCIP then reminds the platform to follow the procedure moving forward. Nick Garcia, We Are One News.
A local recycling group is trying to deal with the soaring plastic waste crisis. It turns plastic bottles, shampoo sachets, and chichirya wrappers into building materials. The plastic flamingo, or PLAF, collects the waste, shreds it, and then it molds it into posts and planks called eco-lumber. Eco-lumber can be used for fencing, decking, even making evacuation shelters. It is 100% made of plastic waste, free of rot, maintenance, and splinters. The PLAF is also in talks with other non-government organizations to help rebuild typhoon-stricken houses using their sustainable materials.
The plastic problem we're currently facing, the pandemic, the huge accumulation of plastic use, there's also improper disposal. Instead of putting it in landfills or oceans in general, you give it to the plastic.
Well, now that we have more time at home, we have more time to also sort our garbage. And I actually learned about this collection site in Salcedo. Dalhin mo doon, gagawin nilang eco bricks.
Okay. It seems like a good idea. Tsaka nakaka-guilty kasi alam ko naman we use a lot of those products as well at home.
Tapos nakita ko rin na may balita na baka yung pera din natin, gumamit na rin sila ng plastic. May mga plano na gano'n.
Maganda yun. Sa bagay, we keep printing money as well, di ba?
Yeah. Tsaka hindi natin tinatapon, so maganda rin yun.
Tatanungin ko, meron na akong environmental scientist sa bahay eh. Bagong graduate yung anak ko.
Congratulations!
Diba? Maganda rin yung school niya.
Ate Neo, one big fight. She made the right choice, I would say. Good parent.
No, siyempre, congratulations to us.
Congratulations. Well, that wraps up today's Big Story. Catch us again tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Signal, Channels 8 and 250.
Please like our Facebook page, One News. For more in-depth analysis, visit our webpage, onenews.ph. Mask on.
Wash hands.
And stay safe, Philippines. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Hall. We are One News. Have a good evening.